This is Timelines Talk. Featuring guest stars, Don LaFontaine's non-union equivalent, it's Danjevin. Also featuring Joey, have you ever been in a Turkish prison? Look out, it's Automaton 2000. Your sleep paralysis demon, welcome Frank. And now, the man with the chatter, he doesn't have a bladder. Here's your host, Captain Idol.
Oh yes, and welcome ladies and gentlemen, beings from other planets and beings of all species and genders. Welcome to Timelines Talks, your premium exclusive #1 source for all the best and best and brightest Timelines news. I'm Captain Idol. We are joined as always by Automaton 2000 and Danjevin, and joining us it's Walt Koenig, not the Walt Koenig we expected, but the one we deserve. Welcome, Walt. How the devil are you this week?
Yeah, I'm okay. Pretty busy with work. It's coming to us that time of year where family life's going to get pretty busy.
Yep, 'tis the season nearly.
Yeah. Good. Thanks for having me back.
Always welcome here. And Otto and Dan, how are you this evening? Sorry, I don't know why I said it so chirpy. Yeah.
Oh, it's just keeping your energy up. That's great. No, I'm constantly refreshing my Black Friday shopping list buckets here to make sure things get filled into my kids' Christmas lists. And yeah, so that's a whole new anxiety. How about you, Otto?
Doing good.
You know, you could just pick them up something that's store.StarTrekTimelines.com.
Hey.
if you want to be a good dad.
Yes, kids, do you want
So
some
Idle's had a date circled on the calendar for months now, February 2024. Timelines Talks 100, where he can finally fuck off into the universe and never do another one of these again. And he waits till number 97 to do new intros. So even till the end,
I'm still doing it.
we're still prioritizing quality.
There'll be a time when the bit at the end will be somebody else, but we'll see. We may stop at 100. I'm aiming at 100 and seeing what happens. But meanwhile, this is 97, and we've got some things to talk about for established Timelines players who are having, as I can only describe, as a week. This has been eventful. However, we have to do the one thing we always do first, which is spin the wheel. No, you don't want that. You want the wheel of Darbo. So thank you for everyone that submitted show titles. The winner was, I believe it was Baitor that won this week's one. Yes, it was Baitor. So congratulations on that. But let's spin to see who will win a sub. And I have to press two buttons at once. Let's go. It's Walt Koenig.
Hey.
Oh, come on. What the hell?
Promise this is not a fix.
Press the right Idol. You pressed the right button, Idol. Well done.
I did. Well done. You've won yourself a sub, so when your sub expires, I will sort you out.
It was real smooth to leak the show notes, so people think we have some kind of itinerary for this.
Of course we do.
That
We are well organised. It never goes on tangents. We do everything as ordered. Anyway, yes, so apart from that wonderful result, look at that, everyone else in thank you for submitting your titles.
Everyone else.
Everyone else, yes. Just to let you all know, we will have our awards show this year. The Star Trek, not exclusively Timelines, is going to be general Star Trek, as well as some Timeline stuff as well, on December the 16th. So join us for that. I'm working hard on some nomination slides. We might have a few guests pop in as well. So keep your eye out for that. That's going to be fun.
It's going to be Frank. Don't get your hopes up, folks.
It's going to be Frank in different costumes. No, actually, that would be quite a good bit. I should do that for the first couple of awards and then just carry on. Also, if you haven't checked out already, please go onto our podcast, onto our YouTube page, and you can find, and on bigbook.app, and you can find the very own Big Book podcast, hosted by none other than Mr. Automaton 2000 here, going into the finer detail, the real nitty gritty of Timeline stuff, and you get it. Well, what would you say? What would you say? Like the Big Book's more, the Big Book podcast is more like. I'm trying to pump you up here. I'm trying to give you that energy.
No, you're only plugging this because you're going to be on the next episode. That's what's going on.
I nearly wasn't, and then I forgot.
I do that. No, it's great. Actually, we'll have a special behind-the-scenes leak of an upcoming collection. Mm-hmm. So tune in on whenever we drop it, probably Monday.
Probably might. Yeah,
Probably after the collection's dropped.
Ooh. So you get a little bit of exclusive stuff. Not that we don't do exclusive stuff here, but hey, there we go. Right. Shall we get straight into some of the things that have been going a little bit askew this week? Do you want to talk about very first thing?
Who's got the scroll, by the way?
Yeah, just to
We'll pass it around.
First off, let's talk about the brand new objective event. New objective event style that runs for the next 2 weeks for the Continuum missions. Who wants to put their hands up and tell us what went wrong first? Not that we like laughing about mistakes that they make. We just enjoy the content it brings us. But who wants to talk? Well, do you want to talk about what happened first with the Continuum mission objective event?
Well, firstly, I mean, I suppose we had no weekly objective event announcement. That was the first thing. We were like, okay, we were that. And then, I mean, this new was it endurance event, which is 2 weeks, which
sort of a half endurance, isn't it?
2 weeks, so it's a bit peculiar. It kind of dropped like out of nowhere, like all of a sudden it was there. So but I don't know, depending on what time zone you're in, and I think it dropped for us yesterday evening in the UK about this time, was it?
Yeah.
And I'd kind of my sort of 12-hour cycle on my Continuum missions, sort of obviously one sort of first thing in the morning when I get up, and then one thing sort of 6, 7 in the evening, and by then I'd sort of done my missions for the day. So I was waiting until the next round for doing mine, because I didn't really want to pay for a speed up just for that.
Yeah, that's the kind of problem with it becoming a day late. Some of us, I mean, I know Auto laughs at me. It's just like, well, you shouldn't rush them. Shouldn't rush your Continuum missions, but I did, because I do. But yeah, a lot of people who didn't know there was one coming.
I would never tell someone how to play their game idle. Don't misconstrue.
Of course you wouldn't. You're completely objective and self-centered. We
and self-centered. I like how you just slipped that insult in. One time I listened to you, and I have to hear that.
You do. What was I going to say? I forget. You've brought me off my topic now.
Yeah, so it dropped about 8 hours late.
Yeah.
So people who were like all excited at the reset and did their stuff, which would be probably the majority, because 8 hours is spans several time zones. Yeah, you're going to be a little short. And then they just like didn't compensate for it. They'd even announced the day before it was coming out, and then they were just late on doing it. So. Yeah.
I think the way they could have possibly got around that is by having a little bit of a pro forma to say, like, hey, these are the objectives you're going to have to do, which they have done in the past. They're like with previous objective events, say you're going to need to immortalize this many crew, you're going to need to level up this person so many times. But in this occasion, we didn't know what we were doing, and I think if they'd have come out and said you're going to need to do this many missions, it might have just gone like, okay, I'll hold back a bit.
Hold on, we didn't know what we were doing. I think they didn't know what they were doing.
They didn't know what they were doing. Well, yeah, I think it's blame on both sides there, but yeah.
So on the flip side, I did hold on to my energy, and I figured, okay, well, this can't take that long, and it wound up being almost an entire cycle. So if I had just used my stuff, my canisters would have been refreshed anyways. I think that everybody's a little bit behind on this one, which is going to hurt a bit. I think the other problem that we have is now that we actually have it in hand, a lot of the sentiment has been that it's just not really worthwhile. I think the rewards seem nice. There's a little bit of gold here. We've got this nice this gold behold, legendary crew behold that we have, and a little bit of currency here and there. A voyage extension, which is really weird for equipment event. I'm not sure what's up with that.
Haven't got enough
and
of
then
those.
a little bit of quantum. 100 quantum is nothing to sneeze at, but in the long run, for a 2-week event, usually these endurance events, we can earn 4 copies of a specific gold crew, and and so this one I would presume that we'd get something worth at least half of that, and I'm not even seeing anywhere near that value as the rewards for this.
Well, it is a legendary begold. It's not 4 of them. It is 1, which is what they are also offering for the next week's objective event, which is the immortalized 3 crew.
Adventure crew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is okay. They're running that a bit soon, but okay.
Yeah, I mean,
so
what I was going to say is, was that there shouldn't ever be any event or campaign or anything where you miss one day.
Yeah.
Should really sort of wipe you out for these sort of longer events. if it's obviously if it's a 24-hour, 48-hour thing, you maybe lose, a couple of hours here and there shouldn't cause any problems. But if you lose one day, like maybe we lost half a day maybe from this objective event, that shouldn't really have massive impact. You're either going to make it or you weren't.
Yeah.
Might be a few people get down to the wire, but if you think back to some of the headaches we had with trying to run all the succeed in all the ship battles and all the shuttle missions and stuff like that, where even now trying to complete 45 gauntlet battles isn't always very easy.
I think
so here's the real problem
Go on.
is the fact that the first level, the normal missions that you get, you can run with pretty much any immortalized crew. And so those would be the crew you'd want to run on the very early nodes because they're like freebies, right? Because you have to unlock your first level or an early level to open up those slots, and that's part of the. I don't want to spoil it. We're moving on to the new achievements after this, but the new objective event, requires you to unlock those slots. So if you've already, annihilated normal by the time this objective event came online, now you're already onto your, your strongest crew that you probably either already have equipped from the last event or that you need to equip. And they probably already have their slots unlocked from the past few weeks of play. So now you've got to do that carrying thing that was recommended. You got to run two of your best crew and then just kind of drag along some newbies to level them up, and you're just unlocking slots at a much slower rate now. If you miss that first day.
All right, let me run down the objectives themselves for those of us who are flying to Frankfurt to have a delicious pretzel and haven't opened the game. Complete a mission 50 times. For 3 rare single premium pulls. Unlock 20 equipment slots for 3 rare premium pulls. Earn crit 120 nodes for 100 quantum. Captain Mackenzie Calhoun asked in chat about that. They average about 90 per week rare rewards, so you shouldn't have a problem doing that if you unless you complete them all this week. And then equip 40 pieces of equipment for 400 honor and a Voyager Vive token. And the reason why I haven't included some of those rewards is we probably should stop pretending like credits and merits are real rewards in this part of the game anymore, because fleet boss battles in like one day will give you more than like all of that combined. So those do feel like filler test staging server kind of rewards that weren't quite fleshed out. The one that jumps out to me is equip 40 pieces of equipment. Now, if you're clearing Epic and using 2 gold ones per crew per skill, that is 12 in 1 week, 12 the next week, that's 24. So you're going to need to double that to hit this mark. So probably using a lot of those 2-star uncommon equipments that they give you, but it's not particularly difficult. The thing for me is just it doesn't seem to be worth it. Like that amount of brain power for 1 big gold, which might be all frozen for us Whaley Ivory Tower veteran players, is not really the carrot on the stick that I was expecting after a frankly abysmal launch, where they should have been begging for engagement and not being like, you can finish it if you want to.
It's and like you say, the gold by gold for is a bit like Ivory Tower on occasion, but I'm thinking like newer players who that would be most beneficial for are going to struggle to hit this anyway, are they? Because they're not going to have the crew to run. They're not going to be able to do it every day. They're not going to be able to hit an epic on that kind of stage. So it's badly scaled in a way.
We do love big golds, by the way. I gave Ben feedback in Discord the week before. I'm like, hey, we love seeing big golds everywhere. So, this is not exactly a give horse in the mouth thing. It's more like, here's how you could balance things a little bit better if you're looking for engagement.
Yeah. It's a funny one.
Well,
go on, Walt.
What I was thinking was that whether there's some of these objectives for like opening up the slots on your crew, it's something that we all think most of us are probably still doing that. We're not necessarily our sort of first choice of crew, but maybe the second stringers now, where we say, well, we want to get some slots open on those guys. Where if you're trying to run that maybe in 3 months, 6 months time, you're gonna be like, oh crap, who am I gonna put slots on now? We're gonna be dragging out to run some missions. I'm gonna have to use. Try to think of some god awful card that we might have sitting in our Wrathful Khan or something like that that we might have open for fleet boss battles, but isn't doing anything else for you, or someone that you only use for ship battles or something like that has got absolutely terrible numbers on Voyagers and Gauntlet.
Yeah, you got a good point. Well, because it's going to quickly reach the point where you all of your crew that can even beat a node on the normal missions are probably are going to have their first and second slot open. So you're going to reach a point if this runs again, let's say in 6 more weeks, 8 more weeks, where now you only have those crew that can't even get through a normal mission. Now you got to start to carry them, and you're going to be really behind. It's difficult when you're already jamming in 2 good crew to only bring one through at a time. They're only getting 25 quantum experience, XP, whatever, at a time. You're going to be really struggling to try to even beat these events. I guess maybe part of the strategy is just running a single crew that can beat the final node and then dragging 2 lobies along.
Yeah.
I'd have to math that out to see if that's even possible.
That is possible. I mean, I've been doing it for just, if I'm finishing up a mission and I know I only need 2 of the crew, I'll 2 of the skills, I'll go right. Third one will just be, I'll put Locutus on there just because I want to get him leveled up. But that's kind of my big complaint at the moment about Continuum missions is there's no skill whatsoever. And I imagine I'll talk a little bit more about this more on the podcast, but you can just put whoever, just get your biggest bases on there and you can clear. I've been clearing Epic with the same 6 crew, ignoring traits completely and just quipping them up. It's completely, because you haven't got that exhaustion system. The last, in traditional normal missions, when you fail a node, that last mission gets harder and incrementally harder as you go on. But in Continuum missions, it's not, because it's not. So I can just fail a node and go, that's fine, because the next one will succeed, and as long as I just stagger the crew.
Shut up, Otto, you moron.
There you go. Was that a random one?
It was random.
You're not even talking. That's
Sorry
brilliant.
to interrupt you. To make up for that, you look fantastic in red today.
Thank you very much. It's nice.
We haven't seen that in a while.
We haven't seen this in a while. It's kind of why I put it
great.
on. It's also very hot, despite the cold weather. So I may be sweating. But yeah, it's the balance is...
So that opens a can of worms, because one thing we've seen a lot more this week with rewards are stacked nodes, meaning 2 of the same skill back to back, 2 dip, 2 engineering. And if you start introducing fatigue and stuff like that, that makes it way harder for some people. You're going to have to start putting 2 equipment on 2 different strong crew just to try to get that.
That's kind of what I thought I was going to do anyway. I thought I was going to have to use those traits more strategically, but you don't. Captain Tribble.
Look, I never
buffs
thought I'd say this, Idle, but you are actually one of the elite players in this game, and so you wanting more challenge is not necessarily indicative of the average. I mean, we've seen equipment on 5-year-old mega crew that are no good anymore, and all sorts of random crew that they just have laying around immortalized, and that they have to take that into consideration, because that's obviously a huge chunk of their paying player base. So
we may be elite players. Go ahead.
What I wouldn't mind seeing, hey, if you want to rag on Idle, I'll stop talking right now, right?
Are we merging? Are we vixing here?
We've done the fusion dance, yeah. What they could do maybe to ameliorate this would be a 4th difficulty, call it Supremium Epic, since they love that word for some reason. Maybe a cost entry or whatever, and throw a really juicy, throw a gold side at the end or something. That way you're super invested, already paying whales, have something to chase. If there's a buy-in, that helps kind of cancel out whatever extra benefit you might be giving players. I always try to look at things that, what makes financial sense for WRG, which I guess makes me the villain of the piece, because we just want more free stuff in our game.
Well, yeah. I think there's nothing wrong with saying, go on, Dan.
Yeah, the thing that really hurts, skipping the objective event, losing out on some benefits is one thing, but I think what hurts more than anything else is having to prevent some of my best Voyagers from participating in the rest of the game because I'm trying to complete these nodes, and now it's even more important. If I want to get my rewards out of this objective event, now I've got to keep my Siska the Emissary off of flights for an entire 2-week period, just so he can knock out all these nodes that he needs to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's especially painful in my alt, who I think my best command base on my alt is Chances Taken Kirk. Now he's not doing anything else for me but sitting around waiting for these nodes, and so I mean, just a quick sorry, Walt. Just a quick cost benefit. I mean, I'd rather be on the voyages. I just don't know that these rewards are enough to keep me from taking my best guys off of those flights.
Because at any moment you could get that Admiral Black drop just because you haven't got that one crew on there. No, I'm joking. That's kind of biased as some people think it works with. But how about the fact that we now have achievements, brand new achievements after however long people asking, can we get some new achievements, because I'm not getting that number 1 in event win. That's not happening. There are now some equipment related achievements, and you can see the first batch there. I don't think we've got a list of the full ones, because I think I can only see the first level. By
the way, pull up in chat, folks, as we continue to discuss Continuum missions.
Indeed, this is going to be an ongoing topic of discussion. But yes, have a look in your game. You'll see, if you click your avatar and hit achievements, you can see ones such as unlock equipment slots, strengthen your crew by equipping equipment. Oh god, that's such a mouthful. Obtain rare rewards from Continuum missions, complete Continuum missions, and they scale up. I don't know what the final reward is. I'm sure someone enterprising in chat has probably got a full list and has probably mainlined those to see what the final ones are.
It'll be yet another Locutus.
Oh, damn it.
Locutus.
Could you imagine?
I just cited it.
Yeah, I wonder if there is a gold up there. I did try and just very quickly look at the JSON
the JSON
file.
Doesn't show you anything. Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, I did just have a quick look through there. But Namer, if you're listening, see if you can find out what you can. Just saying. But yes, if you look there are now achievements. How do you guys feel like after all this time of them sort of, every Q&A we kind of ask them, sort of say like, we love Ben and Joe. They're doing great work for addressing the community. But every time we've asked them, so you're going to do some new achievements? And every time it's kind of been like, it's not in the pipeline. And then all of a sudden, bam, here they are. It's like, okay, what's next? VIP levels? What's going on?
Kind of stole the thunder of the achievements to have them be exactly the same as the objectives we're turning in this week too.
Yes.
Hey, the stuff you're already doing, let's do some more of it so you can get some more like credits.
You want some equipment in equipment? Let's equipment.
I think some of the I think some of the achievement stuff, again, some of us more Whaley players were looking for maybe expanding some of that. I think it's still, looking at mine, it's still 600 immortalizations is a top award there.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few of us, I know, sort of you and I idle around the same sort of area, around sort of 1100. So all right, it's great here we sit in our ivory towers. We want more from give us the more at the top, but all these it's like expanding the collections, isn't it? It benefits everybody eventually. Everyone's got that to work towards. The more you have, more different things you can work towards. It's just maybe just something, just to keep that one player maybe interested for a bit longer. So I'm guessing there's got to be some players who have got to the point where they feel like they've done everything and it's just they're on the treadmill again. I think whereas if you've got stuff going on, you go, I'll just do this bit.
I think that's like the same issue with not the issue, but the idea of like bigger collections. Some people go like, oh my god, this collection's like 200, but it gives people something to work towards. I think once those dry up, once they because eventually there will be no more collections to get. They will hit every trait and they will struggle.
Keep that out of your mouth. Don't ever say that again. Collections are the only reason I still
feel like I'm about to get slapped in a minute.
A few minutes left on the poll, folks. Let us know if you have any issues with the Continuum missions.
Yeah, and say up in chat if you've got any other issues as well. It's like you need a target to hit for, and like you say, Walt, having that immortalization achievement go up to like into the thousands, 1,500, because there are that. I feel that should be dynamic and just chase the crew you have, or chase the top number of crew there are. You want targets.
No, if someone wants to duplicate 1,500 ensigns, Kim, just let them. They're not hurting anyone. Like, oh my god, they get a few pieces of dilithium. Like 2 offer wall things would have gotten you 10 times that much. So just let people have fun with their ensigns, Kim, and get a little bit of dill. Like, that never hurt anyone.
And the rewards, like the entry level, I looked at the achievements and went, it's credits, it's merits, it's okay. What can they offer you? Like, what do you think they could offer you in those rewards that would actually be meaningful, that wouldn't break balance? And I kind of think they can put anything in there, if I'm honest.
I'd like to see, if you're going to do a new system, have new rewards. Like, it's easy to just throw something in there. Something we've talked about forever are Honor Hall tokens or Gauntlet exclusive tokens, or like a Pole Star where you can retrieve an exclusive crew. If you have something that is ultra powerful or rare, achievements are the perfect place to put that into because you can only win it once. So something like, a token to get an honor hall crew after you've been playing Continuum missions for 6 months or whatever, that's a great hook to get players to engage early on in the system. And they have to shoulder a lot of the blame for setting reward expectations. The last 3 major systems they implemented, 4 if we count campaigns. You have Skirmish, which poops out honor and chronotons, very lucrative. You have campaigns, which obviously, even if you don't pay, you get a nice little reward with, 10-pack premium and fuse crew and whatnot. Fleet boss battles, a tremendous amount of honor and credits from that. And then, what's the other one? Celestial Marketplace, where you get golds basically every 2.5 weeks for free. So they've set, the last several systems have been very rewarding and kind of in different areas relatively. So for this to come out and be like, well, okay, every month you get a pull. So it's and some dilithium, it's fine, but there's no jackpot reward like Gauntlet or Voyages. It feels a little bit too grindy, a little bit too hamster wheelie, even though in totality the rewards are okay. I mean, they're better than shuttles.
That's true. Okay. Moving on, but yeah, let us know in chat.
For podcast listeners, what is your biggest issue with the Continuum missions? 45% say the busy flag, meaning you can't use a Voyager shuttle crew. 45% say it's not rewarding. 9% say it's just not fun to play.
A poop question, sir?
Okay.
So I want to ask you, because you did pull some numbers on this earlier this week, Idle. There seems to be an imbalance too, because
there very
the
much
skill
is.
nodes drop the qubits you use to craft equipment. Unfortunately, medical, because there are, I guess they sort of balance it around the number of crew in the game. There are far few medicine-related qubits,
Yeah.
meaning it's a lot harder to craft those unless you're buying extra refreshers with dilithium.
Yeah, so I was gonna save a little bit of this for the podcast, but yeah, no, in terms of like skills on nodes,
Sorry.
no, it's fine. I can say things twice. I'm good at that. I often repeat myself. Skills on nodes. So yeah, obviously we're using set galaxy missions, so we know exactly what the nodes are for every mission in the game. We've got the big list on the wiki, and I went through and compiled and had a look just to see what there was. But in terms of totals, like there for security is the biggest. There are 161 security nodes, so you are going to be drowning in security quips or equipment for security quips. However, on the flip side of that, med is at 75, nearly like a third of the security. So if you got med crew and you really want to boost them, maybe be a bit more sparing, but there is definitely an imbalance. And I think this is a symptom of using an existing system that hasn't been balanced for this in something, in this system, because it's just not balanced. Sorry, I'm repeating myself a little bit there, but yeah, it's not balanced very well to give you the most amount of quips that you might actually need. So yeah.
If there's a bright side to all this, now that most of the bugs are cleared out, I think now is the time that they're most looking for feedback. We've already heard that the yellow crew will be walked back to some extent, maybe totally. I also, what was the other bit of feedback that I heard? It'll come to me later and I'll mention it. But so now is the time, basically, if you have feedback.
Yeah. And they are listening.
For them to make changes, yeah. I'd go to the forums and hold your nose and
Red
post that.
alarm.
Kamikawa, thank you
Red
for
alarm.
following. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Yeah, well, just in your experience, Dan and Walt, like with Continuum missions, how are you finding, like with your boosts and quips and things like that? Are you struggling to find the right ones, or are you using different crew, or how are you guys equipping? How are you equipped for equipment? That's going to be the new theme song. No, okay, I'll stop.
Go ahead, Walt.
You are muted, Walt.
Oh, I was going to let you
You're
go
muted.
first.
No, just lagging.
Oh, no.
Am I?
Now you're unmuted.
Hold on.
Can you hear us?
No. No.
Oh, there you are. You're coming through now.
Hello? Oh.
Come in, Tokyo.
I wasn't muted at my
Tokyo.
end. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we've got you.
Am I coming through?
A little bit fractured.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
There.
Yeah. I think the point there, med crew, I had a bit of difficulty
No, you're breaking up a bit, Walt. There.
I had a bit of difficulty
We are.
myself with getting the some of the med bonuses. The first week, I think I just threw some. I was using Lady Audrey and King Ridley as sort of my.
Oh, and he's gone. Okay. That's Walt in the field.
The first, yeah. So I could talk a little bit. Yeah, I mean, the first week was chaos. We were all getting.
WRG got to him. He was there after the rest of us too.
He was going to say the truth you don't want to know.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I mean, everybody was getting their crew in order. These guys run shuttles. That was the biggest trouble was juggling the faction event last week with all of my crew that I was trying to jam through the objective event. And that's so I'm a big user of the data core. I love all the automated tools. Welcome back, Walt. It looks like you're much more in sync now.
Yeah, Lincolnshire internet. It was a bit wobbly.
So with the data core, it's a real saving grace that they allow you to exempt certain crew from your voyages and from your shuttles. So I've been using that pretty liberally, but it does feel a lot like juggling, right? I mean, you got your best crew, and you want to make sure that you max out and get the dilithium rewards and your quantum rewards. But yeah, it's felt like I've had to be a little bit more actively engaged with the game, which I guess is a good thing, even though it feels kind of bad because I have limited resources. So
I don't want to do this, but
So I
it's the
guess-
only thing I've got left in my daily, so I'm going
That's
to.
right. Yeah, this is the new hotness, and I have to be able to talk about it, on the podcast. So I've got to play the game now. Walt, well, I took over while you were off, but why don't you finish your thought, please?
Yeah, I might still have some issues by the looks of things, but if
better.
you're hearing me loud and clear. Yeah, I had a few issues myself with getting med boosts for some of my crew. First week or so, I used Lady Audrey and King Ridley. That's not easy to say together. And I put a lot of equipment on those guys, and they were monstering everything. And then the second week, like the boosts were sort of, the equipment was then running out, and I was like, oh, okay, I need to then start equipping other crew, or I was equipping other crew, and I didn't quite have enough then, and I was scrabbling around a little bit to try and get the right boosts on the nodes, and I definitely ran out of components, whatever the right
Qubits.
term is, I forget now.
Qubits.
The components to make make some of the legendary equipment, but qubits. Yeah.
You're breaking up a little bit there.
So yeah. So but where I see it at the moment, it's kind of still those early days where we're sort of finding our way and trying to work out what the right thing.
Okay, so yeah, the achievements are up, and yeah, things to work on as you go.
Up.
Would you like to know an unintended side effect? I believe. Oh, go on,
I'll
Otto.
tell you what else is up. A poll in chat. Why are WG trying to silence Walt Koenig? We'll get to the bottom of this, folks.
He has the. I'm going to go for that. He has the secret Polestar. He has the Gauntlet Polestar, the one we always wanted, or the Voyage Polestar. Unintended side effect, which I believe is going to be unintended because it had happened on the same time, is all of a sudden you need 3 scans to do your achievement, as opposed to the one that was previous when retrieval was first introduced. And I'm kind of trying to work out if this actually matters and who cares, because
No, it doesn't matter. Do we have a segment for you have to spend 100 ISM a day? Like, come on. Look, it's a bug because they added some achievements. I'm sure they're going to walk it back. In the
course.
meantime, you have
It's
to spend
nothing.
100 ISM and do a scan. You'll survive.
you will get some more
New
Polestar.
accounts have to new
But
accounts have
hold
to
on,
scan
the
3
new
times.
players. Yes, I know there's new players. They need ISM too. It's like, come on, just give them.
This just
They've
in,
been caught
Auto
with their
hates new
britches
players.
down. I hate new players. They've been caught with their britches down for a full month. They have like a billion things on their plate. Just give them like 2 days to figure out this stuff before we start rattling the cages.
I know some people are kind of hoping that they'll do the whole achievement reset that's happened a couple of times in the past, which gives you quite a lot of honor. So yeah, here's hoping they fix it and reset all those for all the players. Should we talk about some crew we can't talk about? Or crew we can't talk about, not because we know things that other people don't, but we just can't. There's not much to talk about. But the next campaign has just been.
Well.
What?
Look just what arrived on my doorstep. A copy of Star Trek Explorer magazine.
Right, open that
Ooh,
bad boy up
baby.
while I'm trying to sort my layouts out.
Yeah.
What you got in there? What do you get with it?
Thrilling original short fiction. Star Trek Explorer presents Star Trek: The Mission and Other Stories. Okay, written by James Swallow and Greg Cox. If that's not one of the best collaborations you've ever heard of, I don't know.
Aren't
I've
those
been
guys on
making
the
up
Eagles?
James Swallow, Greg Cox.
No, they are. I can attest. I have read
Well, now
both
you
their
have
books
to show us the
individually.
centerfolds.
Discovery.
Ooh,
Aren't you guys jealous?
a little bit. A little bit. Yes, the upcoming campaign features Odona. Is that Okona, but slightly missed
The
out?
outrageous Odona.
The outrageous Odona.
Odana.
Odana. Oh, what you got there?
Odana, from one of the creepiest episodes of TOS that you've probably forgotten,
Tell us
where
more.
they're on a planet of overcrowding, and then they get beamed to some like replica of the inside of the Enterprise. Kirk wanders around for 20 minutes with nothing to do, and then these people with like nylon over their head or whatever show up outside the window, and they're all crammed in there and watching them, and it's creepy. And Kirk tries to get his Mac on, but even he's freaked out by what's going on. So nothing happens, but it's one of their ham-fisted allegories for overcrowding or whatever. But it's a memorable episode of nothing else.
It's the Mark of Gideon, isn't it?
Mark of Gideon, yes.
Yes. So we only have the art from the announcement. So usually by this point in the game, the files are generally injected and we get some artwork and something, but we don't know what they're like. We don't know have any stats or anything. So this is going to be the big roulette to see, like, is this crew going to be any good or not? Let's hope so, because they are the Supremium one, and the general bar is they should actually have some use. Although we've had a few stinkers over time.
An interview with Todd Stashwick.
Nice.
I think I'll read that to subscribers after the stream.
Yes, we'll switch to sub only. No, just post for audio clips in the sub channel.
Oh, boldly be with Kid Cootie, huh?
There
You've
you
been talking about that
go.
a lot lately, Idol.
For people that listen to
I'm
our
sorry, I'm-
Trek Time
I'm
Trek show.
derailing.
Oh, there's podcast listeners also.
For podcast listeners, why are WG trying to silence Walt? 54% say he doesn't buy the campaigns. 23% say he has the secret pole star. And 23% believe he's a competent engineer.
And there you are. What do you believe? The truth about Walt revealed next week. Yeah, so Odona also comes back. I love how to recover from these sidetracks with like content.
All right, I got to shout out Cranky, who rightly points out it's so annoying that Odona's art is like has her hands cut off because they want to fit her into certain margins, but maybe they could have picked a different pose or something.
Yeah, that would be nice. Show stats all right. Yeah, pretty much. We got stats? Send me some stats. Namer, come on. Yeah, so also comes with, and let's have a very, very, very quick chat about. I need to sort this out.
They have comics in this too. This is great.
Oh wow. Also read Star Trek Explorer. Also comes with
All right.
Breakthrough
For the articles.
Hold on.
Booker.
Pulowski says you have Shelf syndrome, an artificial heart, and aren't sleeping. You need to take some shore leave. Picard asks, "Can I get a second opinion?" Pulaski says, "You're losing your hair too."
Womp womp.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have picked that particular joke considering the panel. No.
Yes. 75% of the hosts here are hairless.
Have less than 50% of their hair, yes.
Yes. It's a hairless whisper. Shall we let you finish reading Explorer, or shall I continue? You just
Please.
get back. You just get back at me
More
because we had an
interested in
argument.
what
earlier.
Go ahead.
I'll butt in when it's when there's something good.
Breakthrough Booker is the premium campaign crew you can get, and was an event crew, I believe, about a year ago. He is currently in the portal. Dipsai Sec, probably not the best crew you can get, but actually generally one of my favourite scenes from season 4 of Discovery for those that have watched it. Guys, anyone out there used Breakthrough Booker for anything, or does he deserve his tier 8 equivalency?
I don't
Wow,
have him.
okay. That answers that.
Yeah, so I don't use him.
Yeah.
I can't remember what event he was in or whatever, and I didn't push, so I didn't get him, and it was like,
Yeah.
But again, as I say, he wasn't amazing, so it wasn't a great loss at the time.
Yeah, Nifty Mittens points out Fleet Boss Battle nodes. I think most of the time it's Booker and Grudge or the blue Booker that gets the nodes for me. This guy just
Lieutenant.
doesn't really seem to have what I need most of the time.
It's Quedgian, Empath. There's Inspiring this communicator there. There's a couple of collections that are fairly sizable. Bearing in mind you will get 4 copies of him. So if you're looking to fill a few slots on that. There have been a lot of communicators lately. Oh, here we go. What we
Check out this GTA Miami Vice art of Captain Kirk and Spock together. Isn't that awesome?
Man, I would love a GTA version of a piece of the action. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, I just had to check. I have 1 star of this guy that I think I randomly picked up from that event. So, yeah, it'd really be nice to be able to just freeze him and get him out of there. But no, I don't think I need. Dip primary 2.5 collections. I just no.
Let's really hope Akana is worth it. Because yeah, you want to kind of drag thing. I personally, I'm quite happy because I quite like the art. I like this episode. This is one of those occasions where I'll take the crew because I like the crew, and I think Booker's a great character. But yeah, that's probably the only reason. Shall we have?
I did win.
Go on.
I did win 5 stars in his event and used him a little bit early on, but not recently.
Yeah, he fell quite hard. He's now void rank 194. I'd imagine he was probably about 100 when he started, so he's gone down, down, down. What about the next gaff of this week, which mainly features, apologies for the orange art, they haven't fixed that yet, Dealer, or the second running for the show titles this week, which was Genos's submission, which I really wanted to win, but we have to play fair here, was Dealer No Deal. Dealer, which would have been an amazing, Dealer No Dealer would have been an amazing title. But
can we get the art without the filter and blown up? Because this legitimately might be, no, it is my favorite art in the game. It is so detailed. The colors pop.
Oh shit!
I so wish this would have been a legendary crew that I could use all the time because I just adore the art, and even the episode is like a fun romp. So probably the best thing about this card, easily, in fact.
Yeah, so Dealer is here. It is lovely art. It's really nice. It comes with a bit of a caveat though, which she appeared in the royalty pack, the Mixed Behold, and boo Mixed Beholds. But at least this one was a small one, so best chance of Dealer. Except she only turned up in the pack pretty much earlier today. Was it today? Was it yesterday?
2 weeks in a row they did this.
Yeah.
Like, it happens sometimes. How do you allow it to happen 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, there's definitely some conflict going on here. But yeah, she was supposed to be in the royalty collection. It's gone down.
Have they announced compensation yet? Because last time their compensation was very generous for people who went in on the packs and wound up coming up empty. And I haven't heard a peep about it this time. I mean, those enterprising individuals that may have had their antenna up and said, "Hey, it's a safe to go into these packs because look, they give you everything under the sun if you buy in and it's not there." But yeah,
that's nice.
I think when we were talking to Frank about this, and he says when he's like, "I'm getting really annoyed," and when you're annoying your chief whale, then that's a sign that.
I guess I can share this because he did put on Discord, but he pulled 40 packs and or 40 beholds and didn't see her. I don't know how much that he would have done before she was not before she was available, but still.
Yeah. Just
that was their compensation package for the last pack. Was they anybody who pulled more than 10 packs, they just basically gave you a straight refund and you got to keep it. So I guess that's where WRG thinks the dividing line is for people looking for a specific blue or something like that, but. Yeah, I feel bad for more than 40. Eric Nelson says.
Yeah, and you didn't even know there was a problem, and that's kind of the dividing line. Really, is like people would just look at this and go, "Oh, new crew, need to collect them all." Go pull. Oh, I didn't get it. Wow, what a waste of dilithium. Without realizing that, for like you say, Auto, for a second week in a row, they bugged the pack. The actual crew wasn't in there, wasn't even in the portal in the game, which I think is kind of we have to do an advisory thing now and say like check the portal before check the check the crew, whatever it's called. Area. If they're not in there, they're not in the game.
Cryo,
yeah, Cryo, that's the one. Yeah, the Cryo Vault. But it is nice art. It's very good.
Walt, are you a TOS guy? Because this episode I do remember a lot more than Marco Gideon, and that art is just.
There's a lot of TOS I've not seen, and I've tried. It's hard to go back and watch them because some of that stuff's really dated badly, and it just is. I'm trying to weed myself into it, with the watch-alongs and watch, the stuff that you guys are doing. So, try and soothe the pain as it was. But was one episode I'm not familiar with. So. Sorry.
Are you familiar with it, Dan?
No. Well, you and I are going through it together. Yeah, the TOS stuff. So the first time I watched it was in syndication when I was probably 11 years old, catching it on cable in my grandma's house. So my memories are hazy, and I generally remember Tribbles and the Nomad Probe, and that's about all that I recall from that time. So going through and seeing it in a different context and from a different time, I think is interesting. For anybody that hasn't watched the watch-alongs that Idol hosts, they're fantastic. I've enjoyed being a part of them. But no, this episode, beyond me. So.
Oh, that's right. Wink of an eye. That's where she's from. Wink of an eye. I think that's quite late on, but yeah. Get it for the collection she's in, and maybe another one.
Or not, because the collection's only 10 long. Oh, am I going too far ahead?
Are we there?
Oh, you just stole my segue. Pull up in chat, folks. Let us know if Dila stands among the greats in the game in terms of art. Yeah, so that we get the new royalty collection. There are 20 royalty in game now, 21, and the elevator only goes to 10. Which, if you want to incentivize people to collect these crew, that seems like an odd choice when they've done 20 milestones at 20 crew before. So.
Yeah, which collection was it? We had the 20 milestone without actually having 20 crew. Was it
Tribble?
Yep.
Tribble, yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
And they've done Borg and Physician right up to the line before. So
I have wondered if this was maybe planned about 5 or 6 months ago before they added fairly recently several royalty crew. Including Dealer, that and it's a case of their scheduling has not marked alongside the crew that they've been releasing as well.
So whenever a new collection comes along, first thing I do is I look at the average value of the rares in the collection to see how much pain I'm going to have to go through to max it out. And royalty is not one that's been on my radar for being on a whole bunch of really great crew. I think the best gold crew in the collection, Kalis, who is still sitting at 1 star for me. And and Queen Poe, who is a node queen. She's fantastic in Fleet Boss Battle nodes. She comes up all the time. But then the rest of them are kind of forgettable. But then I scrolled down past them, and I was like, wait a minute. A full half of this list is blues and purples. You can nearly complete this collection just by maxing out crew that you basically already get from voyages and stuff like that. So not a whole lot of need right now to go out of your way to finish off this royalty collection.
But I will shout out the fabulous Fleet IPA Interplanets Alliance. Sorry, I already botched it. But several of the folks in that fleet said that they're glad that it only goes to 10 because they like the feeling of completing one when it comes out. So, I'm sure there are people that enjoy both sides of the coin.
It helps as well. I suppose the smaller collections, you get those big boosts, for easy traits like that, you get big boosts early on. I believe, I don't know what at least I can't recall what the skills are in this one, but it is all skill based and you instantly get a boost. And, alongside Continuum, if you're utilizing Continuum is always a glad bonus at any point in the game, which is fueling 14-hour voyages, which are now accelerating at an we've hit warp 10 on voyages now. They are accelerating through to the 15, 16, 17-hour mark without, you can't even keep up with who's doing it. So that all helps.
I will say for the royalty collection, you get a full diplomacy core skill, a command core skill, and the final tier is command proficiencies. So unlike what they've been doing, especially for the larger collections, at least we're getting some sort of skill buff at every single tier of it, which is nice.
Which is what they always used to do, but for some reason the last one they decided to stagger it, and Disco as well is staggered, which is...
I think the big ones they're doing that with, because they
Mm-hmm.
don't want to give too much value. I don't know.
And they'll give us Continuum, which gives us loads. I don't know. Yeah, it's who knows. Can't be too good. But then it's another disparity.
It's like, sorry, I made the joke when they added Voyage Beholds, but only 10% of the time for purples and 1% of the time for golds. It's like they want us to have a lot of fun with dilemmas, but only 11% of the time. It's like, who comes up with that number exactly? Like they want you to be excited for new collections, but not too excited. So.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, anyway, let's go on to a crew that's coming up in next week's event. Or is it this week's event? It is this week's event, I think. Yes, it is. Caretaker Kim, going alongside recently released Caretaker Taurus from the same episode. Eng Dip Med, Void Rank 147, a few kind of traits, but I'd just like to point out this is a very rare skill order. He's an interesting crew. Someone tell me why.
Dila is queen of the Skolosians. She falls for Kirk and, due to Skolosian male infertility, seeks to use the male crew of the Enterprise to continue their species, which I gave a Tier 1 flavor package because of the art.
So I've got to put the yellow filler back on. There we go. That's better.
All right, back to Kim now.
Back to Kim. Tell me why.
Kim wakes up in a medical facility with strange sores. He learns he and Torres are ill and could be dangerous to their respective crews. A totally unique skill order at any rarity. So,
he is the only one.
If he had the requisite power, he would be one of the most exciting Voyagers in the game, if not the most exciting.
You cannot.
He's not.
You care not for communicator musicians?
He's not awful. If you look at that, in the triplet, different order, Dexter. Dexter's waned since she came out. She's dropped down the ranks, but there's still people, myself included, will be using Dexter on voyages this week. And she's got another string to her bow. She's got lower bases and sort of better gauntlet numbers. But obviously, Kim's got those big bases.
I think the thing to look for. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, if you look at them, then I don't think they're massively disparate in voyage ranking. So if you get him, I think he'll do a job.
Yeah, I think you've got to look at as well, like in his triplet as well, like he is the only one with an Eng primary, and that kind of Eng dip is doable in other areas, but having that little med kicker on the end just kind of works, and he does have fairly decent base rank to sort of score, to sort of boost that voyage up a bit. I feel like he's like an unheard of usable crew. Like Medic Jet Reno kind of like has fallen down the voyage ranks, though she is infinite useful just for the skills that she carries. I feel like he's got a little bit more versatility in that. He's not an all-star. I feel like he may be the one that goes on 2 voyages out of like 20 or something like that.
Yeah, he will voyage, and he'll last for a little while. The Dexa comparison, though, she's 2.5 years old at this point. So if you got her, and I believe that was that fantastic, like, Disco Mega event where we had Human Saru and Dexa and some of their bangers. So, like, if you've had her immortalized for a couple... Right. If you've had her immortalized for a couple of years, she has been, very good on voyages despite the poor traits. But where she's at now is not where you've enjoyed her for the last 2 years. So where Kim is at now, it's like you're not going to get those 2 years of Dexa back. But yeah, he definitely will voyage if you want to fuse him on up right away.
I hate to say, but I just got done retrieving all my Rins, and I've got actually 2 Agamus because I went in on the Mega Recap packs for him. So
nice.
I'm pretty good on Eng Dip right now, and so I just can't see, even if I maxed him getting on a whole lot of voyages. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, he does fall short just on the pure pairs. Not that we count pairs. He does. Oh, hang on. No, where is he? No, where is he? He is. No. I can't read my own spreadsheets. Yeah, he does fall fairly short down, under Prisoner Kim, Vanguard, and things like that. But shouldn't count voyage pairs because that counts White Rabbit as being the best one. So fuck that list. That's inaccurate. But I've forgotten the point I was going to make, so someone else talk.
Other cards I noted in the same triplet is Arias Bahia from the triple mega we had earlier this year. Not in Portal still. He's still really good. I'm looking forward to him in Portal. Second chance Larius, not going to voyage, but in good gauntlet numbers. I still use her in gauntlet. She was campaign in 2022, so she's a year and a half old, but. Again, a lot of people have her, and then sort of further down, you're looking at Peanut Hamper and Puppy Janeway.
Puppy Janeway, wow. There's a crew that no one used.
They're in the same. They're in the same triplet, but again, as we said, unique skill order. So, I think what Dan said, Eng Dip isn't really. I'm not lacking there either. I've got Rian and Agamus and Evie Sutahura. She Dipenge. I can't remember which.
Yeah.
She's still really good. And then other cards like Barge of the Dead Torres. All right, she's got is it Echoes and things like that. And as you say, Prisoner Kim. So definitely, it'll be a card that a lot of people go, I can cover all that elsewhere. But there will be someone who gets him will be happy and will use them.
Someone will get all the Caretaker crew eventually. You have a full Caretaker bridge with the Caretaker and Caretaker Torres and Caretaker Kim and Caretaker Neelix, maybe? I don't know.
First Mage Haron.
Yes, Marsh Haron.
First Mage Haron.
Yeah, why not? You can get him in the upcoming event, which starts this Thursday. It is a Galaxy event. You can also get, we're just going to mention, because I don't tend to talk about Super Rare Crew that often, but you can also get Cadet, where the bloody hell is he? There were Cadet Harold, who, this one is important, because it's an Orion, and we love Orions because that collection is bloody difficult, because there aren't many, and not many of them are very good. Although Auto would probably disagree about the Bound Ladies. Or not. No. How about?
You look constipated.
Do you want to do the big book note there, or the favour text there for Haral Auto?
Along with other cadets, Haral took place in the research exercise on Geryon. Geryon? I haven't seen this episode. As an Orion, he had to work hard to earn trust and respect.
Yeah,
the art pops immediately, and it's fairly faithful to the. I'm looking at pictures of him online. That shade of green that Discovery uses, and the blue for the Andorians is a little bit different than the other series. So that against the red uniform is very Christmassy.
Take the color correction off. There we go. We take the orange filter off and do what WRG can't.
He's got kind of a Jolly Green Giant hue to him. Yeah, number one Spider-Man pose in the game too. So
that's true. Yes, I've actually been painting some little miniature figures that actually have exactly the same skin tone as him.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking to complete the Orion collection, so he's absolutely a good card for me to pick up because, as we said, there's some not so great golds in that collection. If you don't have to get some of them, it'll help. And his other two collections, Resourceful, which is massive, so again, it's always a boost for that one, and Discovery, which I'm still a way off finishing that one. So again, fit 3 useful collections. And he's from the same episode as which Adira is? I can't remember the name. It's the
Waiting
purple
Adira and Daring Tilly. That's the one. I think it's
Daring Tilly. Yeah.
Early episode of season 4 of Discovery where Tilly gets in charge of an away mission featuring the cadets and has to kind of rope them into working together. It's an okay episode. It's not my favourite.
I kind of remember the episode, but not so much him, I'm afraid.
Tell me a little bit, if you remember, about his character, because we've seen and we talked about it a little bit on other shows on our channel, a revival for Orions. The Those Old Scientists episode of Strange New Worlds does them a great service. Lower Decks, obviously, with Tendi, you get a lot of backstory on Orions there, and they're breaking the mold of either sex slave or pirate, which is the only things they were allowed to be for about 50 years. So if you remember, tell me about that episode, because they seem to be working on glowing up the Orions.
So he was, because like you say, he was a cadet, one of the first cadets initiated in season 4 of Discovery, because they reopened Starfleet Academy after the whole burn situation, and he's one of the first cadets in, along with a Tellarite and a human and someone else I can't remember right now. He's trying to shed the sort of shed the Orion image a little bit, because his family were part of the Emerald Chain and used to torture people, including people who were on the Tellarite's family, and there's a little bit of antagonism between him and the Tellarite. Obviously, the moral of the story in the end of the episode is, you have to work together. Let's all do this. Let's be happy with Starfleet family, Starfleet forever. Whoop whoop. Let's do it. But he kind of sort of has not many lines, but most of it is just like, don't judge me because I'm an Orion, which kind of, like you say, Auto, tends to be the through line of like Tendi and the Strange New Worlds Orions, whose name I forget. I know you drink tea.
Can't help you on that one. We even looked it up when we were talking about the episode, and then we immediately forgot it. So.
Yeah. But yeah, a super rare you can get in the next Galaxy, and you will get 4 stars of him. You will get all the 4. So don't you go pulling packs now, unless you really want Remy. Speaking of Remy, let's look at him, because we didn't look at him. He was last week's last week's rare reward, and I keep scrolling this the wrong way. There we go. Last week's, not rare reward, last week's gold reward at 1,500, which you can get in packs very soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe today. Who knows? I'll have to look at the game.
Today.
Yeah, you can get him right now. Also, Orion, also from from Strange New Worlds, one of the newest series. Command Sec Dip. Tell me, why does he earn a tier 4 rating? Why is he one of the higher ones in that particular skill set? Do you know?
Because Command Sec is a great skill set.
Yeah, it is. It objectively gets the most shuttle seats and all that. But Walt and I were talking in cab chat, and it's just you got to take the good Orions when you can. And this guy is playable. He's got a fantastic spread of traits. We had talked in the Big Book podcast about just how ridiculously traity he is.
Sorry, what's it called?
The Big Book podcast.
That's right.
8 usable traits, not a civilian human Starfleet Federation to be found anywhere in there. Really great base, over 1,900 unboosted or boosted command based. He's just got raw numbers on his side, and while he doesn't stand out, and he's not going to be a unique addition to your crew, he's just very, very playable.
While in command of the Serene Squall, Remy and his crew were able to capture Pike and the others, though not for long. So part of the reason, we just talked about Caretaker Kim, part of the reason I'm not more excited about him is because he has like the Human Federation, Starfleet, blah, 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 and then 3 other traits? Remy has 7 usable... Sorry, they're backing up the truck over there. Is it that loud?
Are you
So Remy... No, I'm not shy of porn. That would be great. So Remy has 7 strong usable traits. Next week's reward, Nunculus, has 8 strong usable traits. So, in the era where it counts for continuum missions, counts for collections, counts for antimatter, counts for event bonuses, it counts for everything. Traits are important. So these 2 crew, even though they're Command Ip Sec, Command Ip Psi, and we harp on that, they're actually... I'm excited for both of them because of the number of useful traits.
It's nice to have some crew that aren't sort of the usual, main cast characters. And I know I did complain a little bit this on chat the other day. I was thinking, when was the last time we had some decent main cast crew, like the Kirks, the Spocks, the Picards? And then I was thinking, I actually kind of wound that back a bit. It's like, no, actually, it's good to kind of highlight some of these bit players because you get, like you say, you get the more unusual traits. You get the more interesting diversions of other, in a boring skill set. And on another,
I think this guy's my new Santa Claus. He's red and green. He's actually.
It kind of is. Yeah, it is the season.
Yeah. I'll be on my Christmas bridge.
Merry Christmas! You're all slaves now. Come work for the chain.
But enough about capitalism.
Indeed.
All right. Along with him, sorry, I'm excited to move us on. Can we do Dice? Episode of Star Trek Explorer magazine, believe it or not.
Okay, go for it.
Disick and the Doc.
Oh,
The late great
how
Gregory
appropriate.
Itzin.
Yep.
Yeah.
How appropriate, because we can actually talk a little bit about... When I find him, we can talk about Dissec. Have you got enough Gregory Itzin in your game yet? Not only do we have Admiral Black, not only do we have the one that was released not that long ago, Ilon Tandro, thank you. We now have Dissec, on the other appearance. I'm going to have to memory alpha Gregory Itzin because I'm pretty sure he has more roles in Star Trek as well, which we'll probably see. And I kind of wonder if this is inspired by us moaning, like, where's Itzin? Like, he's a big player in Star Trek. He's done quite a lot as well as being...
We got Hayne as well, didn't we?
Yes. Oh, yeah, we did get Hayne as
Hayne.
well. Sopek is his other appearance in Shadows of Pajem. He played the Vulcan in that. So when we get Sopek, we are fully Hained. We have reached peak Hain.
Itzin.
Peak Itzin, sorry, yes.
Disick is a talented physician, but part of a system that allocates care not by need, but by assumed importance. However, he supported the Doctor in his desire to change the system.
He did. These are good traits. I like these traits. These traits make me happy because Physician is a huge collection. You want super rares in them. And just to mention as well, you'll be getting him in the Hybrid Faction Galaxy next week, where you'll also win Nanklas. But yeah, again, you will be getting 4 copies of him in the event. Well, assuming people can finish Phase 1 in time, so that's always a risky proposition. But yeah, you should get 4 copies of him. Caregiver and Resourceful, big collections. He's going to be great all around for that.
Yeah, it's great. One of the things that we've given away our skirmishes. Long live the skirmish. The skirmish is dead.
R.I.P.
But the
It's
benefit
been
is
like
we get
9 weeks since we've had one, by the way.
so bad. I could tell how long it's been because the only thing I ever throw in my Starbase replicator is the what was it? I think that just one of the components, the Starbase components, and it's the only one I ever use, and I can tell how long it's been since my last skirmish because I haven't maxed them out yet. And anyways, but yeah, I mean the one drawback to skirmish is whatever purple you get, you only get 3 of, so you got to finish it some other way. So 2 weeks in a row, 2 fantastic purple crew with 3 collections each. And really, the big thing is that they maximize because these are non-federation crews. So what we've seen lately with the traits, they've been very stingy. And the question was asked, why can't they just make another trait monster? Why can't they make it a special chase crew or honor hole crew that just has all the traits? But the developers have really shied away from that. I think the average that we've seen are 6, 7, maybe 8 traits. So what few traits we get on crew now really need to matter, and wasting them on human Starfleet Federation just is a real drawback. They'll never have that collection value. So yeah, Dissect just really great with his 3 collections, and the fact that he's also a med primary too, which is great for newer players to get them participating and finishing off those tough med missions too.
Some meat on them bones.
Yeah, the last Q&A, Joe said part of the reason they're doing what they're doing with traits, sort of homogenizing the number you get, is to open design space. And so, you can assume part of that is integration with existing systems. I think they've already achieved design space by making every crew have 7 or 8. It makes it all feel a little bit samey. And if they do ever decide to release another Mintak and Troy, you better believe I'll be the first in line. It doesn't matter the rarity or the skill set or anything. You can sell a crew by traits alone to a certain, perhaps significant subset of players. So I hope they take advantage of that sooner or later.
I wonder if they've ever... I wonder why they've never released any more 1-star crew. I wonder if... Was that ever asked? Because I feel that's
they probably just figure it won't sell as well. I mean, if you throw 15 traits on a 1-star crew, I'll buy them for 200,000 honor out of the honor hall. So
we certainly did ask about getting more greys, greens, and blues, even, haven't we? And we were told, yeah, it's not on there. They're not interested in doing it. And I think it is probably along the way of there's no way of monetizing it for them, and don't even know how other than in just general packs you're going to get some of these cards that don't see them on voyages. We do. That's a lie. We get the greens on voyages, don't we? I don't think you get the greys, but
you do. Yeah.
And obviously all the blues are in all the packs. But was it a year and a half or something since we got our last blue?
And green as well. I feel like since the WRG Exodus, I say Exodus earlier in the year, it feels like that their resources are swinging towards, okay, we're going to focus on getting more golds out there and purples as opposed to like just putting random greens and greys in. I can kind of see the point. There isn't much use to them, but I don't know. I feel like 1-stars are such a fun novelty.
You should have them.
Yeah, it's good to have them, and like throwing Stargazer Picard in the Honor Hall is just like, oh, that's as close as you can get to something different and something fun in this game.
And I think one of the things they did right was that when we got lower decks, we got those 4 crew as greens, didn't we? That was absolutely the right decision. Should have got a sort of like you got an Enterprise D Picard and some of these other cards. We needed like that base level pleb crew, and then you can have the fancy ones. You can have your sadly not so great Borg baby Boimler and stuff like that. But
what's up in chat, Otto?
Poll watch. Yeah, another long poll up in chat. We only have 5 slots. That's great. We only have 5 slots, so I tried to mix a few in there together. But why do you collect? That's good. But why do you personally like to collect crew? So I probably art or traits would be my top 2 picks right now.
Art's definitely. By the way, I should mention there is actually a crew slot sale right now if you want to buy some more crew slots with dilithium, and a Darbo sale as well in case you want to grab that first to max you always wanted. Even if the crews already get one, go and spend the dilithium anyway. Why not? Yeah. So you guys go. What's important to the game for you?
Well, hold on. Haven't they done Black Friday stuff before?
Yeah.
Or had
yeah.
they not? I don't recall.
I think
believe
they did.
have.
Yeah. Can't remember what it was.
But it's been like it's been the leap year sale, right? I mean, that's what they
That's
did
on
last
now as
year.
well.
They just so it's on now. Yeah, it's stored. StarTrekTimelines.com. Get your
Thank you,
dilithium in one big shot. Thank you, Frank.
Sadly, Frank couldn't be here
I-
tonight because he was too busy on store.StarTrekTimelines.com buying that amazing leap year dilithium.
No, that poor soul is stuck at the DMV,
He is.
actually, which is like, the seventh circle. So, although last time I went to the DMV, it was a very pleasant experience. The lady was nice helping me. I saw a guy waiting in line with a shirt that identified with one of my hobbies. So I started
Wait, you have
chatting with
other
him until
hobbies?
he got called. So, yes.
See, I don't think we have an equivalent of that in the UK, do we, Idle? I don't think there's
Of what, sorry?
the DMV. We
DMV.
don't have an equivalent of the DMV.
just give you a
council
card
officers
for
are
free.
close. You can go queue in there and argue with some
Yeah,
people in
but-
the council. That's pretty close.
But who does that? I mean, obviously, every American seems to have to do this every 5 minutes. 'cause we're
We
all
do have an
moaning about it.
amazing online system for our government services, I shall say, though. If you want to check your MIT, you can do it any time of day. Anyway,
let's get off that segue.
enough about broken segments. What do you guys value about things in the game? Like, what's the most important to you, as per Auto's poll?
So I was a art person, initially attracted to the game just because of the big beautiful artwork and just being able to see and play with the characters was fun. And eventually over time, as I became a jaded, bitter old elderly player, I've started to focus more on the numbers of it and treating the game more like an algorithm or a spreadsheet than something that I enjoy, and that's on me. But I think what originally attracted to me to the game was just the big full body artworks, and it is still important to me. I still see that and value that, and I love cultivating my bridge and just kind of scrolling through my list every once in a while. I don't think that's what keeps me around. It's chasing the dragon and getting that the ever higher voyages and placing higher in the events is what really keeps me here. But it was certainly a big factor in drawing me in.
About you, Walt?
Well, I've voted in the poll. I mean, probably. I mean, well, the Art's a strange thing. It doesn't really sort of bring me in, but it will certainly push me out if the art's bad. I'm quickly sort of turned off from the crew or from something going on there. But yeah, I'm kind of a bit with Dan really. The numbers, I've become in my couple of years of following you guys and trying to get better at the game. I look at the numbers and my eyes light up when I see some juicy stats. So yeah, sadly it's big numbers, voyage numbers.
Ample base Ls, one might say. How about you, Auto? Why are you still playing this fucking game?
He loves it.
Don't think I don't ask myself that every single day.
Why are you still here?
For top 50 event finishes like you had
That's true.
last
That's
week.
true. Well done.
I usually come to crossroads where I'm like, should I just quit and get hours of free time back in my week, or should I do something stupid like start a podcast? And then I just add more work to my plate, and it's terrible decision making on my part. So
let's talk about before it gets any more awkward. Let's talk about Nanclus, the upcoming Romulan that's going to be in the next event. Hey, who here likes Star Trek? Undiscovered Country. No, wait. Is he the Frontier or the Undiscovered Country?
Undiscovered Country.
This is the Undiscovered Country Romulan, not. Oh no, the one in Final Frontier was a woman. That's right. But yes, he is from the very brief shot in various embassies, and right at the end as being the secret bad Romulan behind the plot all along. But he is now in the game and will be available. And yeah, like you say, someone talk about his. Well, give me his flavor text and talk about his tasty traits.
have we had any Romulans with mustaches?
Don't.
I can't think of any.
I'm going to check BigBook.app.
Okay. Nanclus was the Romulan ambassador. He was part of a conspiracy against peace negotiations between the Federation and the Klingon Empire.
Zaban has.
Oh, that's right.
He's got the facial
Got the
hair,
goatee.
right. But that just
Well, but
means
that's
he's
not a
right.
mustache. That's a goatee.
Dan Jivin's brother, Shaban.
Yeah, you can kind of see it.
Nice.
That's true. That's true.
Fantastic boots. I love the boots.
Good boot
The
work.
pose is like appropriately stiff, I feel like, for the character. Like normally I kind of pile on for being kind of plain, but it really works for me for whatever reason.
It embodies the character as being very kind of standoffish, like Romulans are.
Kind of Romulan. But you can see the heels on those boots. Like he's compensating for something, I think.
So I had to look up the actor, and I wasn't familiar with the name Daryl Henriquez, but I was familiar with his other Star Trek role as Portal 63. Same guy.
No way.
No, was
about
he? Oh, we
I
spoke.
thought
Yeah,
he was.
okay.
I thought the actor was John Saxon for the longest time, because just the evil-looking
Is it part of a
MFer.
Romulan
And
plot, a ploy to start a war?
Nice one.
Wow, Portal 63.
it's him
awesome.
under all that aging makeup.
That would have been
yeah.
after, actually, because season 1 of TNG came before the Undiscovered Country, didn't it? Yeah, that's right. But yes, so talk to me about the crew itself. He's Voyage rank 20. He is beefy. However, he falls in a very common skill set. Why should I pick this crew up? Should I run the gamut of a faction galaxy to go get myself some stars on this bad boy? And now you talk. Anyone?
Nobody has anything to say about
No?
a dip
Go on.
command.
Go
Well,
on.
I'll go. I mean, firstly, I couldn't have told you what his name was. I've seen Undiscovered Country.
I don't think he was actually
maybe
named
half
in
a
the
dozen
show.
times. Yeah,
I
I've seen
think
it a
he
few
was.
times. I didn't even remember he had much of a line. Even I was like, did he even speak? I had to again. I've got to look this up. Because he's certainly not the highlight of the film, is he? He isn't. To me, he's not the Romulan ambassador. I wanted one from Star Trek 5. I wanted Caitlin Dar, and I want
That's right,
Cord,
Caitlin
and I
Dar,
want
yeah.
Yep.
I want St. John Talbot. Is it?
Same John Tabbitt.
Played by played by, and I've forgotten the guy's name.
I just as well.
the
I know who
actor
you're talking
plays
about.
him.
Played Madrid and
Come on,
Gorkon.
help! Somebody in chat.
Warner.
Anyway, he's not the Romulan I want. David Warner. Thank
David
you.
Warner.
David Warner.
He's not the. Yeah, he's not the Romulan. He's not the Romulan that I wanted, but he's got some great numbers. But I think again, it's that well-trodden skill set, isn't it? Command Psi is now the second most, or even the most common skill set in the sort of top Voyage ranks. If you were to look at those similar skill sets, it's all those familiar faces. Reunion Spock and Kirk, Human Saru, Camping Archer and Porthos.
Yes.
Evie Uhura, the list
It's
goes
the
on.
traits,
doesn't
though,
it?
really. He's got 3 collections. He's going to get 5 more. The one trait that we thought would probably never hit anything because it's so big, resourceful. Not only do they make it a collection, but they put it on every single crew. So there's a billion tiers to that. So, yeah, the commendable side is not great. Like you say, there's a lot of options, but the traits are really, I think, what makes them worth it.
And they seem to have been adding quite a few politicians in the last year or
Yeah.
two as well. They seem to have been growing.
Could see
Whereas
that being a
before,
collection.
we went to go for all you got was lots of Klingon chancellors, and nearly all of them had boring. Other than I think for a long time, other than Nagus Rom.
Do you want to do poll? Sorry, before you interrupt me, or are you just waiting to interrupt me?
Yeah, we all froze for a moment here.
Oh, was he frozen? Never mind. For podcast listeners,
That's like Discord.
there you go. Oh, are you back? Would you like to do the honor, sir?
Am I back?
I never left. For podcast listeners, what's most important to you? 55% say skill set or voyage power, 27% say the art, and 18% are after traits.
Let me break.
Discord's been doing this thing for like 2 months where they just randomly freeze in the middle of streams and
That one was only you
Might-
this time, though. Usually it's all of us, so I don't know. That's one of those
okay.
things. So yeah, let me just hit you a few numbers here because the traits really sell this crew. There's a bit of power in a normal skill set, but at the end of the day, you kind of want them to marry up with that antimatter voyage. Romulan is a seat. Romulan is a seat on voyages. He will destroy that seat. He is number 1 there. Resourceful, he is number 1 on some combinations. He is number 2 on the others, but the only person that can beat him really is Colonel Kieran Reese, who was a mix behold pack. You probably don't have her. Scoundrel and Tactician and Saboteur, he's also scoring high on. So he is going to get antimatter traits for a lot of seats, being beaten by very few other, being beaten by Mira Tuvok, which is another question in itself. But he's kind of someone that may be an unexpected odd flyer here and there. Especially considering, like, he's the opposite to, he's the antithesis to Caretaker Kim, isn't he? He has the power but not the skill set, but he has the traits to go with him, whereas Kim doesn't quite have the power but has the skill sets. If you maybe swap them over a little bit, you would have had at least one amazing crew.
Yeah. I gotta say, I was initially, I'll say it, I was nonplussed by Nonplus, but the more we talk about him, like, I'm kind of into this. He's got enough voyage power that he will probably fly for a good year if I get him maxed out right away, and then it's all upside from there, isn't it? Right? Because as he falls out of relevance, he's going to start gaining those collections.
Yeah.
And over time, he's really going to. This is a character that I think players should be proud to have in their roster and should probably compete for.
I think I've sold myself into it. And it's Portal 63.
Yeah, of course.
Although, I do have to shout out Skycap, who's been on our show several times over the years. She loves that scene in Caretaker where it's, not the backtrack crew, but I think Nonplus has gotten like enough chatter for the 3 lines he got in the movie. But I know she loves that scene in the pilot where Kim and B'Elanna are down in the Ocampan Hospital and they're just starting to interact with each other. She calls him Starfleet and he calls her Maquis. And shout out to what could have been a compelling Maquis storyline through 7 years of Voyager.
And we even remark that on our latest Star Treks and Voyagers episodes when we do them. We constantly talk about the lost art of the Maquis plot, which just sort of disappears every now and then, turns up in a holodeck program. They go like, remember these guys? They used to be the evil ones, but we worked together so well. Janeway's bun of steel swayed Chakotay so much, the charisma just washed over the ship.
Bun of steel.
The bun of steel.
So you were going to segue into your fanfic for a second.
A little bit. Well, we are going to talk about maybe one of yours, but very briefly, chat, I want to talk a little bit about Timeless Chakotay. We went over him on the last Timelines talks, but I'm wondering if anyone in chat has bothered to push the button and get Timeless... I keep calling him Timelines Chakotay, but he's Timeless Chakotay. God, I can't talk tonight, but when can I ever? He's one of the few... one of the few Honor Hall crew that actually has good stats out of the block. Have you, anyone in chat, actually been getting that crew? Auto, did you pick up Auto, not Chakotay, not Chakotay?
He's ignoring the conversation. He refuses to talk about faceless Chakotay.
So you're lagging again.
It's because we had an argument earlier, isn't it?
So I've kind of had an interesting journey with Timeless Chakotay. I've kind of got buyers. Oh, beautiful, Kate Mulgrew.
Wow,
what a
like you over that like a sentence.
No, Dinah Muldar.
Kate
what is it, Kate Mulgrew?
How small's your screen?
Sorry, we're lagging again. So, wait, I completely derailed. Oh yeah, Timelines Chakotay.
Yes, gotcha.
Timelines Taco Day. So I initially, when he was released, I noticed, hey, it doesn't look like anybody's first to maxdom. It's maybe 5-6 minutes in. Maybe I'll go ahead and pull him out of the honor hall and give him a shot. He's decent enough, right? So I pulled him, and sure enough, obviously somebody had already first to maxed him. Why not? He's great. But then I started looking at him in my roster, and I was like, man, I understand he's got some collection outside. Do I really need this guy? So now I've got a little bit of buyer's remorse. I'm not really, I haven't put sights on him, and he's just kind of sitting there. I don't know. I'm questioning whether he's really for me or not. So,
is your Chakotay for you? Find out right now. He does sit quite high, and he's Voyager rank 16. He's got a big old command base. He's pretty good for Honor Hall crew, which we can't say that often.
Yeah, but we know the honor sale's coming up very soon, and that's a lot of stars.
That's
a lot of stars. Instead of second away sites, that's a lot of stars I could be getting that collection value elsewhere. So,
The thing that doesn't get talked about a lot and usually ends up making me a villain is the fact that getting new Voyagers or new shuttle crew actually doesn't matter that much. If you didn't have Chakotay, you would slot one or a few other crew in. It might take 3, 5, 7 minutes off your voyage. That's not the end of the world. For 100,000 honor and 4 sites, you could probably throw that around a few other places on your roster and you know, make that the equivalent. Crew actually, I hate to say, but crew like Captain Tribble, actually, I find more impactful with Continuum missions coming out. And that's a conversation we had on the Discord where I think it was Eric Nelson was asking, is Tribble worth it? I'm not sure. Maybe I should put on Voyage crew instead. And it's like, if you sit down and do the math, that kind of crew who can blow through all the crits and you don't have to worry about, proficiency ranges or adding extra equipment, a crew like that who can earn you weekly dilithium and quantum is probably worth more than going like 7 minutes longer on your voyage, which unless that gets you to the next dilemma, that really doesn't matter because it's actually more efficient to just recall at a dilemma, but that's a whole other conversation. So what I'm trying to say is you're working with very thin margins with new crew, and it's nice to get the shiny new thing. But if you miss out on a crew who's not even number one, he's like, in the teens, even with a great skill set, like he will voyage for you fine, but you won't actually miss him if you don't get him. Whereas a crew like either one of those top 3 exclusives or one of the single base crew who not only run Continuum missions, but then will keep another command Voyager on your voyages instead of locked down for a week doing missions. That really, I think, has a bigger impact, even though we have derided single skill crew for a long time. Kitty, come on.
No, Cat. Cat does not want to go.
And then you talk.
I mostly agree with you. Like, there's been a lot of times I've passed over on good voyages and events because I've been like, well, I can just about match that with this other crew. And we talk about that, and like in the opposite with Nanclus, we're looking at Nanclus because like, oh wow, trait that might actually make a difference. But go on, Walt.
What say if somebody was trying to get all the Honor Hall crew? would that put
That's my dark
Chakotay
pack that I'm keeping to myself.
Are you asking for a friend, Walt?
I've heard of some crazy cat.
Yes, I am sacrificing my next few honor sales to collect all the Honor Hall crew because fuck it, why not? I've got nothing better to do, and I think I've got an estimated completion of January next year, which actually isn't too bad. So I just want them. So don't do it.
Actually, the best thing, for game strategy, the best thing I can say about Honor Hall crew is they can't be beheld, which actually again, Ivory Tower endgame players, but that does matter. Because again, on the last Q&A, they came out and said, "Oh yeah, we almost implemented behold rerolls, and then we decided not to, and we're I'm sure there's better solutions out there, yada yada, but they're never going to actually get to it." So, being a crew who will never, every time you get a frozen behold, like even at the purple level, it sucks, right? Because that is essentially a wasted star. That's wasted capital that you could have spent to make your roster better. So going for Honor Hall crew just by the fact that they won't block a behold in the future is a sort of inherent value in itself.
Yeah, and there are some worthwhile ones getting now. Like we just talked about, especially with Continuum missions. Captain Tribble is a bit of a rock star now. Like, he is great. Kalis is not got the gauntlet proficiency he used to, but still occasionally gets the odd one. Maybe you could equip him and go on.
Sorry, I'm waving to chat.
Oh. Oh, right, okay.
We'll say for the Honor Hall crew, even if they don't all bring unique functionality, and some of them do, right? Technician in her is an optimal healer for fleet boss battles. She was released for a reason. They all, I think all of them you can make an argument for, but really, at least they're all iconic. And this comes back to the art argument, right? So, if you're spending that much, you want to have something that really is going to stand out. And that's where Timeless Chakotay just falls short. I guess he stands out in the fact that you can't tell who it is. But apart from that, it's just it kind of is the one really weird blemish on the Honor Hall for me, whereas everybody else is just really an interesting example of their persona or of a really interesting point in the series, like Captain Tribble, and he's just not. He just doesn't do it.
This shows what a degenerate I am. This is the 4th different place I've had the conversation. I mean, there's Discord forums, you have the conversation. We've recorded an audio clip for him. I wrote his Big Book note. We did the Big Book podcast about him. We're doing this, and it's like, so I've talked about him a billion times. He's good statistically, but yeah, the art, the fact that it's replaceable, like part of the reason why Kalis he's been a conversation for like 6 years. People are like, should I get him? Gauntlet, this and that. It's because that part of the game ages really well. Voyage crew do not necessarily. I mean, keep in mind, Kalis was the #1 Voyager when he was released, and we haven't talked about that in years. So, Voyage power fades a lot faster as well than Gauntlet. But with all the equipment flying around, it may not matter how old your crew are, as long as you have, big crit values and a lot of equipment attached. So.
I keep getting older. My crew stays the same age.
All right.
All right. Well, on that note, let's do something a bit more fun than talking about old cards that make no sense. Let's have a showdown!
This Wednesday on UPN, an all-out war. Competitors from all over the cosmos go head-to-head in a battle for supremacy. Captain Kirk versus Spock. Captain Kirk versus the Gorn. Captain Kirk versus basic human decency. Find out who will fall and who will be victorious on Timeline Showdown.
That's right, it's time for a showdown where you in the chat get to decide what is happening, what is going through. And this week, well, what are we talking about this time, Otto?
Ask Walt. He's the man.
Walt, what are we talking about this time?
So earlier in the week, a couple of days ago, myself and Otto said we could do something like this, and these are 8 collections that we do not have of my suggestion, and let's vote to see which one we like the most.
Indeed.
Simple as that.
Okay.
All right, there's going to be 2-minute polls, so pay attention. The first one up in chat is the counselor trait named I Sense You're Upset versus spiritual, aka the Akuchi Moya collection.
Do you think they'd actually call it the Akuchi Moya collection?
No, but it would be pretty awesome if they did.
I checked the numbers, and I think there's currently 43 counselor crew.
Counselor Troy.
54, yeah, 54. Yes,
you spoiled it.
54 spiritual
Wow.
crew. Although the counselor collection would have a lot of Troys and Ezris, there's an eclectic mix for some of the others as well. There's an Archer in there, a Chapel, a Crusher, a Janeway, an Elix, a Tuvok even, and even a Colonel Worf.
Colonel Worf is a counselor. I suppose he is, yes.
Colonel Worf is not a counselor trait.
So the old Voyage chase card, yeah.
It's not like, you think it's all just, in Guinans as well. It's not just sort of head to top, tip to toe of all those. Obviously they are in there, so yeah, you're going to get a lot of Troys, and again, Troys are seeing a lot of Nepenthe, and some of the others see a lot of use in Fleet Boss battles, and we've just had a great Troy, so yeah, it's, and spiritual is its usual mix of Bajorans and Mystics, and a lot of Vulcans are in there, and different
You're voting on which collection you want, Namer. Which collection would you like out of those two?
Yeah, which collection would you most like out of everybody? Yeah.
I'd quite like spiritual. I think spiritual makes a lot of sense. A lot of Worfs in there. It's good.
I mean, Counselor's been the ones that I've been wanting for a while.
Well, then why didn't you vote in chat?
I think I'd stay impartial for this.
Sure, okay. Yeah, they probably wouldn't do spiritual this close to Bajoran because there's a lot of overlap, but down the line I could see it.
Oh, late coming in, it's Frank.
A wild Frank appears.
A wild Frank appears. He ran away in the confusion. Hey, buddy.
Hi, it's me. I'm your Tuesday Pack crew. Sorry I showed up late. My bad.
Just did it for the bit. Okay, who was our winner?
All morning.
I just updated it. By a count of 8-1, spiritual, aka the Akuchi Moya collection.
Very nice. Frank, we're doing what's the next best collection you can have? Okay, what is in round 2?
I'm still pulling, hold on.
Okay.
All right, up in chat. You have the Pilot Collection, aka the Mayweather Invitational, versus the Jeffrey Combs Collection, aka the Waiting on Boyce Collection.
Ooh, I don't know.
Do we include any Tim Russes in the collection because he combed the desert?
Oh no!
Oh,
Boo! Boo!
No, because he ain't found shit.
I think the Coombs collection's got 13 Coombs in the game. 4-way Oons, 4 strands.
Oh, that was a joke I was going to make about the Council and Spiritual collection. Like, yeah, they've probably got 60 crew in there, but they'll only release it as a 10 collection.
And pilots at 102.
Wow.
There's lots
which
of
means we would get skill
Rikers,
boosts up to 20 and
Parises.
then they'd stop.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, Sulus, Mayweathers, Jadzias.
Didn't realise there was that many
Darkers,
pilots.
I think.
Frank, you're looking a bit like a pilot this evening. You've just been on a helicopter.
Actually, yes, I have. I flew here as quickly as I could from my 3rd vacation home to really talk about how much I love this game and how fairly
We were just talking about
treating us all.
because we were talking about the royalty collection and how
Yeah,
enamored
the
you are with the
mixed
game and recently.
I didn't log in for like 3 days on any account. I didn't claim. I finished 10th in the event, I think. I had 24 shuttles to claim that I didn't claim until the next day.
Wow.
And it's like, and then the behold goes up. It's so let's talk about collections.
Okay. We're nearly at a winner. I think a Jeffrey Coombs collection would be great.
That's close, though.
It's close, yeah. Coombs collection would be great.
I did vote Jeffrey Combs, not because I necessarily want the collection. I actually just want them to do something other than like a trait
Different.
or the
Something
episode, like break the mold, do something fun, do something like subjective for once. I think that would be cool.
Do we have a winner?
Yes, you can read it off while I'm
Can
doing
I?
the next
The
one.
winner is the Jeffrey Combs collection. Coming up next.
All right. Next poll, now up in chat, would be the Romantic Collection, aka Fully Functional 2 Positronic Boogaloo, versus the Killing Game, aka the Great Gams Collection.
I would go for Killing Game. Like, I love episode collections. Give me more of those. Give me the Year from Hell as well.
Yeah, this has got a very disparate range of volume of crew. Killing Game, I think we're only at 10, if I've got my numbers right. And it's a great episode. Again, it's one I think we've asked for a few times. They've done obviously episode crews, Far Beyond the Stars collection and things like that before. So I think community's up for it. But Romantics at 209, a Romantic crew in there, and again there'll be all sorts of crew in there: Troys and Rikers and Spocks and Chapels and.
Finally give a use to B.G. Robinson.
Yeah. So
It's true.
I mean, it depends. Again, this one could be do you like vanity collections or do you like a big monster collection with lots and lots of bonuses? I suppose.
Yeah, I would just go Romantic because it gives me something to work on and lots of skill boosts. So, but
again, it's a collection that is that thing. Probably that one and holodeck collection or something, or hologram collection. I think we've the two that people have been asking for quite a while.
I need to update the holodeck collection. There's been quite a few holographic characters or holograph enthusiasts released recently. I suppose you could jumble the Elysian crew and that maybe.
Well, the trouble is they put this Janeway as the reward, didn't they? And that sort of we're maxed out on that. So unless they
actually
put another 5 tiers on or whatever and put another crew in there, which that would be quite interesting. They'd have to do something like that to make it interesting, and that would be something I think people like myself and some others would go, this is something a bit different to work with.
Sorry, no, my favourite part about Bridal Keiko is she has the 400% damage crit, damage boom, which is brilliant. But sorry, go on, Otto.
I would like stacked rewards, stacked crew rewards, because that would be another new thing they could try out.
Definitely. Okay, the winner is The Killing Game. with the romantic, with only 27% for the romantic. So obviously, themed collections are more popular, and I kind of agree with that. Give me a Cage collection. That'd be cool. Okay, what's next?
Okay, pull up in chat a movies collection. The Thar Be Whales here, or crew holding melee weapons, aka the watch where you stick that collection.
That's good. I'm kind of getting evoke feelings of pointing collection here.
Yeah, it's because we were already told no on the pointing, so this would be the next best thing.
Biggest crime in
But
time.
why not both? I mean, pointing with a weapon.
Ah, that's true.
Yeah,
Was that
this
aiming?
one was quite
That's
a hard
aiming.
one to work. Yeah, it was quite a hard one to work out the numbers on these ones. I think movies can with help from one of your sheets, Idle. I think we're up to something like 115 or maybe 116 movies crew.
Yeah.
Across all the films, so
that'd be great.
You
I think there's enough. Like First Contact, there's enough that it could have its own collection. Like I think it's like 15 crew. From
it's whether they wanted to go that way or not. So I sort of just lumped it all together, and then the melee weapons and pointing weapons. It's sort of quite a big overlap with duelist trait and Klingons as well. So there's a lot of Klingons in this collection because there's a lot of Helden Batleth, and there's total of 5 Worfs that are holding a stick or a weapon. That's not including ones like the rocket launcher. So this doesn't include like blasters and disruptors and phasers and stuff like that.
Is it Worfs or Warves?
Warves, I think.
Warves.
But it does. I have included people like. So I got to 66, and that including people like Prisoner Kim with his pipe, and there's Ezri Tegan's got a knife, and there's a few.
Well, you spent a non-trivial amount of time researching this. I'm impressed.
Is it WORFES, WORF apostrophe S, WORFS apostrophe?
ORVES, I think, like Wolves.
RVES, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a murder of Wolves.
Don't ask about docking with Wolves. That'll get Stars excited.
It's a
barrel of Wolves.
Yeah, I was going to go for that one, but I was too disgusted by Idle.
Okay.
So movies wins this one. I have zero faith in WRG to actually curate a list of crew holding weapons and then keep it updated. So I think by default it has to be movies.
I think they miss movie crew, but I think like I say, Cranky mentioned it on the last one with the Killing Game that actually have to fix various crew to actually count for the movies as well because there's some odd ones.
Or anomalous ones like the captain, the new Captain Scott, not One Skill Scott, but the latest Scotty we got. It was like based off an amalgamation of different photo headshots and promo shots, but he's not from actually any specific movie, but they say he's from 6, but he's really from like 3 or 2.
Yeah.
Okay, pull up and chat. 1 minute pull here in the semifinals.
Oh, I don't need a minute. I need 30 seconds.
No, we've heard that about you, Frank. Spiritual or Coombs. That's a tough one. I think I'm gonna vote with my Jeffrey Hart.
I'm just sad that fully functional 2 positronic Boogaloo got knocked out in the first round, so I don't care who wins this one.
That was your one winner. That was your 10-1 odds.
Yeah.
Now you're just leaving the bookies with a piece of paper thrown on the floor.
The collection names is all auto. That's all his hard work.
Booter's got you, man. Booter's got you now. Oh,
when this
a tight
game
race.
ends, thank God when that day comes and we have our own little version that we make with hookers and blackjack. I so look forward to the stuff Otto comes up with because it's going to be so funny. It's going to be so good.
Literally, we call time.
Right.
Deadlock.
We have a tie, and there's 5 handsome men on the show today.
That's true. That's true. Okay, let's take it in order then. Dan.
Spiritual.
Walt.
Sorry, I dropped out halfway through. What we between
Spiritual and Jeffrey Coombs.
Break of the tie.
Coombs, it's more fun.
Okay, Auto.
Yeah, I'll go Combs just because I want him to do something different.
I'll go Combs too. That's 3-1. Frank. I mean, I just want to ask you anyway.
It's spiritual. It's got to be spiritual. The way of the prophet's my child. Yeah, come on now.
Well, thanks for playing.
Hey, that's what happens. Look, when you show up late, sometimes your vote doesn't get counted.
Okay, if we have another tie, I'll start with you.
Jeffrey Combs is a hack fraud.
Whoa! Right, where's that kick button gone? Anyway, next round.
Next poll up in chat: the movies collection or the Killing Game collection?
I gotta go Killing Game. I think. As much as I like the movies collection, I feel like that. I like.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
very
going for
specialized.
movies, so I can get even more collections on my non-class. I'm gonna get.
My non-class, he needs more collections. He's very hungry.
That could be sounds like Huns and Franz.
It'd be Borg Queen would get another one as well, wouldn't she? So it'd be like up to 8 or 9, I think.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should start voting for collections that already have like crew in 8 collections, just to see how high we can push it with this nonsense.
With the live ticker at the side as they like increase in collection, it just keeps getting bigger until it goes off the screen.
That's got to break some kind of UI element in the game. There's no way they accounted for like 10 collections.
Who could we make tier 1 that's not? Who's the worst crew we could make tier 1?
God. I don't know, because most of the good crew in the higher tiers have got good traits, and I think that's why.
Yeah.
It's when we're going to the movies. That's going through to the final along with... So, Jeffrey Combs versus movies. What will you decide?
Poll up in chat. We'll make this one
chat.
2 minutes again. Since it's the finals.
It is the final countdown. I don't know. I'm gonna sit and wait for the arguments.
All right, so movies is bigger, so lots of goodies and skill boosts and stuff. Combs, if they ever do Combs, that's like cracking the door open to even more off the wall, random fun stuff, which I do like.
That's true. I feel like they'd do movies eventually anyway. I don't think they'd ever do the Way You Win collection.
Yeah, because they're doing show collections, so movies would be the extension of that, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
Then you get some double dipping though with people that do have the show collection and have the movies.
How
many Jeffrey Combs movie characters do we have?
Good question.
I don't think we do. There's none.
None.
Yeah, but I feel like I think the only kind of ones that mix over are any TNG or TOS cast. Like they're the only ones that would. And I at this present time, I don't think they're going to do a TOS or TNG collection. I feel at the moment like they've limited them to Enterprise and Discovery. Although they are sizable collections, they might do them. But I think Ben indicated that they may be stopping that.
So the last Q&A, which we were joking over, so I had to go back and listen. They did say that they had backburnered that, but that they would probably get around.
Which means it'll turn up at completely random in about 2 months' time, like the achievements.
They would probably get around to all of them.
Would again be Borg Queen be Voyager and movies?
I think she is just TNG because she's not Susanna Thompson, is she?
She's got a hidden tree that indicates, but I don't remember which one is which.
Let me no, this is our screen, so this is. Oh shit! No, that's what the old tabbing there.
She is both, isn't she? Technically.
Ooh, Jeffrey Combs surges ahead at the last second.
Oh, there it is. That concludes this week's showdown.
Thank you, everybody.
Chat, you're all dead to me. Yeah. Every last one of you.
Wait, did you play? Did you play the clip?
I played the clip. Did you not hear it?
Okay, I would. No, I think maybe the.
Oh.
Am I not sending the audio through? No, I was sending the audio through. You should have heard it. Maybe.
All right, I might have just zoned out.
We're running silent for about a good minute.
A clock.
No, a clock. And that wraps up this wonderful edition of Timelines Talks 97.
So Nimmer points out the Queen has TNG, Voyager, and Picard tags, so that's very helpful.
Picard to her as well. That's random.
So she'll be in 3 different show collections.
What, they retroactively went back to the original Borg Queen and added Picard to her?
I don't know. I am making the
let's go to the forums and check the trade.
I read whatever they put on the teleprompter. If someone puts it in chat, I just assume it's true. All right.
Let me check. Let me check that wonderful website that we should all be using daily and worshipping at. What's that website?
You're doubting Namer. You're doubting.
I'm not doubting name, but I'm just checking it.
No,
because
he's just known to troll once in a while.
I'm just checking because. There you go. That's what you get.
That's a good clip.
That's a good clip. My website's not working properly now anyway, so there we go. I'm sure he's right.
I do know she's in the. I do know she's in the trade audit. So
there's a trade
if they
audit.
ever decide to do one of those
without consulting the #1 trait expert. You think they would do such a thing? Would they?
Like, I'm already in the asylum. You all are figments of my imagination. So one day the trade audit will happen.
Well, it's been a wonderful show having you, Walt. Thank you for joining us this week. You have been an absolute delight as ever.
Thank you.
Dan, Otto, thank you for coming. Frank, thanks for turning up.
Hey, are we done already?
We are done. This is the end of the notes. And then we triggered the mariachi. We will be back.
It's official now. There's no
That is
turning
on.
back.
Can't go back now. We have to start wrapping
We're
up.
getting
I've already
played
started
off.
spooling up.
Better wrap it up. It's the wrap it up box.
Next week, I am going to be playing some Star Trek Online again. It's been a while. It's been a spell. So let's get back into the madcap adventures that's happening there and all the insane things that are going on. Probably sometime this week, we'll be doing another Star Trek. Maybe one next year. Marvel Snap. No, I didn't say that.
Speaking of breaking news, I have a package.
No, that's my beer.
Go on, what point? Oh no, what's in the breaking news? He's got a box.
Straight from a conversation we had. Birth of the Federation.
Yes! For podcast listeners, Frank is holding up a boxed copy of Birth of the Federation. Is that sealed?
Sealed.
Holy shit. How much is that?
With the Electronics Boutique.
Oh my god, yes.
Tag on it still.
Is it? Where did you pick that up from?
It was in one of the Discord channels. Somebody posted it. It was on eBay. And then I immediately said, "Oh no, it's been sold. Which one of you idiots did it?" It was me.
Sadly, it comes on 6 floppy disks, and you've got
do you get a floppy drive in that box too?
Funny enough, right here.
Really does.
Floppy drive.
Oh, dude.
Oh my god, really? Wow.
Let's get the tools.
I am prepared. I've been wanting a sealed copy of this forever.
That's incredible. I used to have one as
here
well.
it is. Because Otto's been talking about it. I've been saying, I missed this. I can emulate it, but really,
I need to go research something
this
quickly.
is-
Hold on, can we get an unboxing stream at some point?
Don't open it. Oh my
Sure.
god, no.
Tell us how
I
it
can send you a
smells.
copy of Birth of the Federation if you just don't unseal that. Come on.
It's content, Idle. It's content for the channel.
I can give him Birth of the Federation. That's not a problem. But I just don't want him to unseal the box.
Yeah, and I can give him a closed cardboard box too. But
Oh
it's more
wait,
fun to play the game.
this is Birth of the Federation. Oops.
Boss of the Federation, yeah.
Damn.
You can actually buy Birth of the Federation on eBay for about £40, which I think, hopefully it's in a good condition. Till £10 here. He got me looking at it because the box was awesome. All right, anyway.
Dude, the worst was those multi-CD installs where, like, if you hit the CD tray button too early or too late, like, it would just abort the entire installation. So,
What's a CD drive?
You get them in 4-speed, quad-speed CD drives. I remember those.
I had to get one of those too.
Have you got a whole Amiga under there somewhere? Just going to pull out this
I'm-
486 PC.
I always have props ready, and today it's just computer parts.
Nice.
I think.
Next time, Frank gets a ZX81.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Commodore 64.
Oh, that
toy.
would be good.
how was your DMV trip?
Who would have thought that everybody decided the day before Thanksgiving to go to the DMV, and the DMV workers decided to act like it was Thanksgiving, and call
Oh,
one
they all sitting
person
there
an
eating
hour.
a turkey, sprouts pouring the gravy over their forms. What?
Basically, just looking down on us on the other side of the counter, like, ha ha ha, you can do nothing. But my transaction took all of 6 minutes, so
A blessing. And the queue,
truly.
several hours. The blessing of Thanksgiving.
So you're now a fully registered big rig driver again, Frank?
I am, and I will be coming to a town near you with a hot, fresh load of. Good night, everybody.
Amazing. Yes. Sorry, Kirk, you
Sorry,
got mariachi
Kirky.
too much.
Hey, hold on. We're gonna hit it on the random one. Here we go.
Are we?
Good tea. Nice house.
That's the worst, most anticlimactic.
How about this
stream
one?
ender.
No. What about this one?
Damn it. I can't stop the heterocyclic declination.
We need a biomolecular physiologist in here. This man is dying.
Right, I need to go and play Birth of the
stream is
Federation.
dying.
Let's stop. I think also we need to do that again. We need to get Birth of the Federation going again.
Look at him try.
Hey.
Now that you have Frank. So
We have
there
Frank.
you go.
Well, get both of you on. Get both. You could have a. I tell you what, we could have a Birth of the Federation race. Whoever can destroy the Ferengi first, in 100 rounds or less. We could do
What
that.
if I want to be the Ferengi?
Then
I think you can play co-op.
can you? Oh, that'd be cool. Let's see if we get that working. There must be a way.
Oh my God, the McRib is back.
And on
I
that
just
note,
got the stream.
yeah, check out the stream. We might be doing some stuff. Check out the Discord for new events, things coming up. I might be doing I got an invite from Mind to do a cozy stream on December 17th, so keep a lookout for that. I might come and do something. It will be for charity as well, so I'll get some details up for that very soon. But from all of us here at the Timelines Talks crew, we will say live long and prosper and ta-ra.
Don't speak for me. For 4 of you,
Handle
it's live
Kate
long and
Columbo.
prosper.
That's a big 10-4.